In a small, quiet town in the heart of the United States, there was an unspoken tension that bubbled just beneath the surface. It wasn't overt, but it was always there, like a storm waiting to break. The town's main street was lined with old brick buildings, a symbol of its history, but also a reminder of the many battles fought over time, some seen, others hidden. Tasha Williams, a proud, confident Black woman in her early 30s, had grown up in the town. Despite the subtle but constant stares, the whispers in stores, and the occasional injustice, she'd always held her head high. She was a woman who loved her community, worked at the local diner, and spent her free time helping organize youth programs, always encouraging the younger generation to stand tall. One crisp autumn morning, Tasha's peaceful routine was shattered. As she was walking to work, an officer named Michael Turner, known for his abrasive attitude and questionable interactions with the town's Black residents, pulled up next to her. Without warning, he told her to stop and demanded to see her ID, accusing her of loitering. "I'm just walking to work, officer," Tasha said, trying to keep her composure. But Officer Turner wasn't listening. He was quick to escalate the situation, demanding she step aside and search her. The crowd that had gathered on the sidewalk, most of them regulars from the diner, watched in silence, hesitant to speak up. Tasha, feeling a surge of courage and years of frustration boiling inside her, refused to back down. "I know my rights. I've done nothing wrong," she said firmly, making sure to stand tall and steady despite the rising tension. The officer's face flushed with anger. "You think you can challenge me?" he spat, grabbing her arm forcefully. It was at that moment Tasha's voice broke through the silence. "I am not afraid of you. You will not intimidate me." The crowd, initially silent, began to murmur, unsure of what to do. A few brave souls stepped forward, and one man, an older white resident who had known Tasha's family for years, spoke up. "You've gone too far, Turner," he called out. "Let her go." Others, seeing him take a stand, began to speak out as well, some shouting for the officer to back off, others calling for fairness. Slowly but surely, the crowd's energy shifted from passive observation to active support for Tasha. In that moment, Tasha realized that she wasn't alone. The silent tension that had gripped the town for so long was finally being challenged. After what felt like an eternity, the town's sheriff arrived on the scene. He'd heard the commotion from down the street and quickly assessed the situation. He recognized Tasha, and more importantly, he knew her reputation as a hard-working, respectable woman. He wasn't going to let one officer's misconduct go unchallenged. "Turner, step aside," the sheriff ordered, his voice sharp. Reluctantly, Officer Turner released Tasha's arm and stepped back. The sheriff turned to the growing crowd, who had become increasingly vocal, their cheers and support building. "Everyone has rights here. This isn't how we treat people in our town," the sheriff declared. The officer tried to protest, but it was clear that the tide had turned. Tasha stood tall, her heart pounding with adrenaline, her spirit soaring. The crowd erupted in applause, and even the local news station, which had been recording the event, began to pick up the story. In the following weeks, Tasha became a local hero. She spoke at rallies, encouraged others to stand up for their rights, and, with the help of the community, pushed for greater accountability and transparency within the local police force. The story of her courage spread beyond the town, inspiring others to challenge injustice wherever they saw it. Officer Turner, however, was placed under investigation, and the town saw a shift. Conversations began to open up about race, fairness, and what it meant to live in a place where everyone, regardless of their background, could feel safe and respected. As for Tasha, she didn't just win the battle that day. She ignited a fire that had been smoldering for too long. Her courage became a symbol of resilience, and her town, though flawed, began to grow united in the belief that no one should ever have to stand alone against injustice.